Poor Dad's Way. Work hard, play safe. When I was a boy, I loved my dad. He was kind. He was smart. He always showed up. I called him Poor Dad, but not because he was small in spirit, only because money never stayed long in his hands. He believed in hard work, in school, in steady jobs. He followed the rules, walked the line, and stayed in the safe zone. To him, safety meant success, and working hard was the only road he knew. My dad wore button-up shirts and carried books under his arm. He was a teacher, a proud man with a proud voice. He believed in systems, in lessons, in showing up early and staying late. Every day, I'd watch him walk out the door, lunchbox in hand, eyes focused, shoulders a little tired. He told me, "Go to school, get good grades, find a job, work hard, be safe." And I believed him, because he was my dad, and he wanted the best for me. His world was built on honor, on education, on loyalty to a company. He had dreams, but he also had fears. Fears of being poor, fears of losing it all. So he worked harder. He saved more. He kept his head down. To him, life was a mountain, and the only way up was one slow, steady step at a time. I remember the smell of his coffee, strong and bitter. He drank it before sunrise, in silence, reading the newspaper. He'd sigh softly as he read the headlines. Sometimes he'd shake his head. Bills, raises, taxes. He thought about those things a lot. Still, he never complained out loud. He just worked and hoped it would be enough. He didn't believe in taking big risks. He'd say, "Better to be safe than sorry." If I asked him about starting a business, he'd frown, fold his arms, and say, "Business is risky. You could lose everything." To him, being an employee was like wearing armor. It protected him from the storm. He didn't hate money, he just didn't trust it. He thought it was a wild horse, something you couldn't control. So he avoided it. He focused on earning just enough and spending just right. He paid bills on time. He clipped coupons from the paper. He told me stories of men who got rich and lost it all. "See," he'd say, "they flew too close to the sun." And I would nod, because I was just a boy, and he was my hero. He taught me to be careful, to think before I spent, to respect authority, to stay inside the lines. But even as I followed his way, a small part of me wondered, is there more? Not just more money, but more freedom, more time, more joy. Sometimes, when he thought I wasn't looking, I saw the tired in his eyes. I saw the worry, the weight, the what-ifs he never said aloud. Like when the rent went up, or when the car broke down, or when the school fees came. He'd tighten his lips. He'd run his fingers through his hair. He'd whisper, "We'll manage." And we always did, but just barely. He never bought things for himself. Not fancy shoes, not new shirts, not vacations. He gave everything to the family, because love to him looked like sacrifice. He taught me how to make do, how to stretch a dollar, how to patch a shoe, how to save pennies in a jar, and I'm grateful for that. But sometimes, late at night, he'd sit on the porch, staring at the stars, and I'd hear him whisper, "If only. If only I had invested. If only I had tried. If only I had bought that land. If only I wasn't so afraid." Those words stayed with me. They curled up beside me like quiet shadows. Poor Dad never failed, but he never soared either. He stayed safe. He stayed steady. But inside, he carried silent dreams, ones he never chased, because fear always spoke louder. I remember one day, I told him Mike's dad, Rich Dad, was teaching us how money works. He stiffened, looked at me with serious eyes. "Be careful who you listen to," he warned. "Don't get caught up in chasing riches." He wasn't angry. He was scared. He didn't want me to fall. He wanted me to walk the same slow, careful road he walked because it was familiar, and familiar felt safe. But safety has a price. It costs time, it costs dreams, it costs chances never taken. Poor Dad didn't see that at first. He thought caution was wisdom. He thought staying still meant staying strong. But time kept moving, and the world kept changing, and his job wasn't so safe anymore. His benefits faded. His retirement was smaller than he hoped. He had done everything right, and still, it wasn't enough. That's when I understood something. Working hard is good, but working hard alone is not the answer. Poor Dad's way gave me discipline, gave me heart, gave me service, but it didn't teach me how to make money grow, how to take small risks, how to build freedom, not just survive. Still, I don't blame him. He grew up in a time of war and worry. He was taught that money was scarce, that failure was shameful, that dreaming big was dangerous. He wasn't wrong. He was just protecting the only life he knew. And so I carry his lessons in one hand and new lessons in the other. I work hard like he taught me, but I also think differently like Rich Dad showed me. Because I've learned you don't have to choose between working hard and dreaming big. You can do both. My poor dad showed me how to show up, how to serve with honor, how to stay humble, how to value people over power. He gave me the roots, but Rich Dad taught me how to fly. Now when I look back, I see poor Dad not as poor, but as strong in his own way. He kept our family afloat with nothing but love and long days. He gave and gave and gave, even when he had little left. That takes courage too. So if you feel like you've lived like poor Dad, working long hours, playing it safe, worried about tomorrow, let me tell you something. You are not wrong. You are not weak. You are not behind. You've done what you had to do. You've cared. You've tried. You've survived. And that is noble. But now, maybe it's time to open a new door, one that poor Dad never walked through because he didn't know how. A door that says you can learn, you can grow, you can try something new, even if it's scary, even if it's small, even if you're not sure yet. You don't have to throw everything away. You just have to start asking new questions. Not, what if I lose, but what if I learn? Not, is it safe, but is it worth it? Not, will I fail, but who might I become? That's the gift my two dads gave me. One gave me safety, the other gave me strategy, and between them, I found my own voice. A voice that works hard, but thinks smart. A voice that plays safe, but dreams boldly. So, wherever you are in your journey, take a breath, take a step. Remember poor Dad's strength, honor his heart, but don't be afraid to look beyond his path. Because sometimes the safest thing you can do is believe there's more and go find it. As I grew older, I began to notice things, small things, quiet things, like the way Dad's back curved more each year, or how his laughter became less frequent. His eyes were kind, but tired. He worked hard, harder than most people I knew, but life never seemed to let him rest. He did everything right, went to school, got a good job, paid his bills. But still, money always felt just out of reach. He kept us safe. He gave us love. But I started to wonder, was there something missing? Was there another way? That's when the questions began, not out loud, just inside my heart. Why do we struggle when we do everything right? Is working hard the only way? Why does money feel like a fight instead of a friend? I didn't have the answers, not yet, but I knew one thing. I needed to look deeper, not just at the world around me, but at the world inside me. And so, slowly, with love and reflection, I began to gather the quiet lessons that poor Dad never meant to teach, but did. Lessons that shaped me, lessons I still carry. Let me tell you what they were. The lessons I learned from poor Dad. Sitting here now, with time as my quiet companion, I look back on those long mornings, those steady footsteps out the door, those quiet sighs behind a folded newspaper. And I begin to understand. Poor Dad was never poor in love, never poor in duty, never poor in purpose. He gave everything he had, and in his quiet way, he taught me lessons I carry with me to this day. Lesson 1. Love is shown in sacrifice. Poor Dad didn't say "I love you" often, but I saw it in his eyes, in his tired hands, in the way he gave up his own comfort so we could have ours. He skipped vacations, wore old shoes, worked late nights. Not because he had to, but because he wanted us to be okay. From him, I learned that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the lunch packed early, the bill paid just in time, the last slice given away without a word. Love, he showed me, is not just in what we say, but in what we give. Lesson 2. Structure builds strength. Poor Dad lived by the clock. Wake up at 5, coffee at 5:15, leave by 6. He believed in routine, in order, in systems that made life feel steady. At the time, it felt boring, repetitive, but now I see the quiet wisdom in it. From him, I learned that showing up, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, is a kind of strength. He built a strong life with small, simple actions repeated every day, and that taught me discipline is love dressed in routine. Lesson 3. Fear can hide behind good advice. Poor Dad told me to be careful, to play it safe, to avoid risk. Get a secure job, he said. Don't aim too high. He meant well. He wanted me protected. But now I know. Sometimes fear wears a mask. Sometimes what sounds like wisdom is just fear in a softer voice. I learned to ask, am I being careful or am I being held back? And I started listening not only to advice, but to the feeling behind it. That changed everything. Lesson 4. Respect is earned through character, not cash. Poor Dad wasn't rich, but people respected him. They'd stop him in the street, call him sir, ask for help or guidance. He was kind. He kept his word. He gave more than he took. From him, I learned that money can buy many things, but not character. Respect, like trust, is earned slowly through gentle actions and quiet choices. His wealth lived in his values, and those values still echo in my choices today. Lesson 5. Being present matters more than being perfect. Some nights, he'd come home too tired to talk, but he'd still sit beside me, even if only for 5 minutes. Even if he didn't say a word, and that was enough. He showed me that presence is powerful, that even when life is hard, showing up with your full heart can change everything. From him, I learned that you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be there, fully, honestly, gently. Lesson 6. Work ethic is a kind of wealth. Poor Dad worked hard, not just for money, but for meaning. He believed in putting your name behind your work, in doing your best even if no one's watching, especially if no one's watching. He taught me that how you do the small things is how you'll do the big things. That hard work is more than a paycheck. It's a way of walking through the world with pride. He gave me that mindset, that muscle, that habit of effort, and it's something I'll never trade. Lesson 7. Stability brings peace, but not always growth. Poor Dad gave us a calm home. No wild swings, no chaos, just simple, steady days. From that, I learned how powerful peace can be. But I also learned sometimes the safest place is the slowest one. Growth doesn't always come from comfort. Sometimes it comes from being stretched, from trying something new, from falling and learning how to get up. His way brought peace, but not progress. That's when I realized you can respect peace, but still reach for more. Lesson 8. Money is not the enemy, but fear of it is. Poor Gad feared money, not having it, losing it, needing it. He never said it out loud, but I saw it in his choices, in the way he avoided taking chances. He didn't hate wealth, he just didn't trust it. From that, I learned money itself isn't bad, it's only a tool. It becomes dangerous when fear holds it too tightly. Now I treat money like a friend. I listen to it, I learn from it, but I don't let it scare me. Because fear builds walls, but understanding builds doors. Lesson 9. Pride can sometimes block possibility. Poor Dad was proud of his title, proud of his degree, proud of his job, but sometimes that pride kept him stuck. He didn't want to try new things, didn't want to ask for help, didn't want to look foolish. He wore his pride like armor. From that, I learned that pride can protect, but it can also prevent. It can keep you safe, but also stuck. I learned that it's okay to be a beginner, okay to try, to stumble, to ask, to not have it all figured out. Letting go of pride opens up the path. Lesson 10. You can love someone and still choose a different path. I love my dad. I always will. But I didn't follow his path. And that was hard at first. It felt like betrayal, like stepping away from something sacred. But then I realized, love doesn't mean imitation. It means listening, learning, honoring the gift while building your own story. From Poor Dad, I learned what I wanted, but I also learned what I didn't, and that clarity was a gift in itself. So now, when I sit with my memories, I don't feel anger, or regret, or blame. I feel gratitude for the steady lessons, the warm meals, the quiet strength of a man who gave his all. He didn't teach me how to be rich, but he taught me how to be real, how to show up, how to care, how to keep going. Those lessons, they are the foundation beneath every risk I now take. Because of him, I learned to walk, and because of those lessons, I learned how to fly.